Hello and welcome to another episode of On the Fly Television. I'm your host, of course, Dennis Gleason. Welcome to the show. 9.5 minutes of mindless banter about an ad hoc producer gone wild. So what are our subjects today? Like usual, we know very little to absolutely nothing what we're going to talk about. This time I thought I'd go to the next step and actually have a couple subjects that I'd like to talk about. And so do you guys in the studio back there in the control room have any subjects, any current events or anything you'd like to talk about that's happened the last few days or whatever? Internet quality. I think what he's looking for is the consistency of some type of hardware to work when you want it to or when you need it to. I know that in the television production world, we always have situations where you're hoping that some service is going to be available, and for whatever reason they're not. You know, it's a earmark of any kind of profession. You're going to have not so great days, you know, and I know that, on shows I've done before where the entire episode is turned blue because the cables have been turned around, and other episodes have actually been muted because we didn't have audio corrected right, and different types of things happen with different types of shows. So it's like anything else. If you are a professional, you handle the little tiny hurdles and you make sure you take steps to prevent them from happening again. So what are the questions, what are the things that have been going on recently you guys want to talk about? Gonzo? Gonzalez. I know absolutely no idea what you're talking about. I don't watch television. I make it, ironically, don't watch it. So, different subject. How about the lunar eclipse? Does anyone out there watch the lunar eclipse last night, this morning? In the control room, anybody? Nope. I guess I came out there last night and I actually did some videotaping of it. It was very difficult because it was a long ways off, and of course once that actually eclipsed it didn't really work very well. But it was at 2:52 I think officially Pacific time, and it lasted until like 4:22. I wasn't awake at that time, but it took like 5 minutes of footage. No big deal. But if you haven't ever seen it before, that's the best part about it is you take the time to get out there and take a look at it. So see I went from camera 1 to camera 2, not paying attention at the light switch until my faithful director pointed his fingers 2, and I don't think he's meaning peace, to go to camera 2. So what other subjects you want to talk about out there? Anyone in the control room? Peace. We're going to talk about peace. I think there's enough people talking about peace. I don't think I'm somebody that anyone would take too seriously, no matter how valid my opinions might be, unfortunately. So I'm going to go ahead and keep off the political subjects as long as humanly possible. I do want to talk about something that actually happened to me a few weeks ago. My birthday was on the 14th of August, and my friend Karen's birthday was on the 10th of August, and we went to celebrate by going to the Cheesecake Factory in Washington Square. Now, what's so unusual about the Cheesecake Factory? Well, if you're in Washington County, Oregon, around there, you've ever gone to that place, you'll know that it's really enticing treats. But the most interesting part about it is that I tried ribs. I eat ribs all the time. I've done different types of taste testing and done the Bones and Brew numerous times. But what's really interesting is the ribs at the Cheesecake Factory were awesome. After thousands and thousands of ribs and looking at them and eating them and smelling them, by far, taste-wise at least, the ribs I got there at the Cheesecake Factory were the best. Mark Hunter is the general manager there at the store. If you go by there and you order the ribs and you agree with me, let him know, let your server know that you want to pass along comments to Mark Hunter, the GM at the Cheesecake Factory. Say, Dennis had it right. Those are the best ribs I've ever had. I don't know exactly what they did. They smoke them forever. It doesn't really matter. All I know is that they were totally awesome. A little bit on the pricey side, but for quality, you deserve it. You're going to have to pay that extra price. So what else out there? Anywhere in the studio anything else we want to talk about? They're having a sidebar conversation, so they're ignoring me, so that not any help whatsoever. So what is this show about? This is ad hoc television production. This means that you at home, if you're living in the Washington County area, you can go to TVC TV. That can be located on the website, tvctv.org, and find out how you can become a producer for cable access television. You can put anything you want on it, ad hoc garbage like this, where it has really no basis behind it, probably no actual quantitative value to it, or you can actually put on something that's very educational, something that's informational, or if it's something about news, instructions, documentary. People even put together movies, edit them here at the TV station, and put them on television. So if you're ever interested in doing anything having to do with in front of, behind a camera, or on a production basis, take a chance, go to the local cable access station. There's numerous ones throughout the Washington County area, or the Portland metropolitan area. Portland Cable Media, and probably got that, Community Media, probably got that mixed up. Multnomah County has an office, Capital Center, or Capital, and Salem has one, Willamette Falls. There's a lot of different agencies around. Call them up, check their email, or check their website, find out how you can produce TV shows for free or at a low cost. Other subjects, I actually wrote down something today, giving me ideas so that when and if my control room folks don't have any feedback that want to give me, I have something to work on. A couple of the items I hear on here is Krispy Kreme. We had that earlier today for breakfast for a training class I was in, and yes, everyone loves it and everyone hates it for the same reason. I don't know what people really believe or what they think about the 20% reduction or the 71 stores that they closed, but you know, the stock has gone from 13 to like under 7 or something like that a share. But one thing people don't realize is how valuable that some of Krispy Kreme's outside programs are, having to do with their community support, their fundraising activities that they do. I know that when I was on the board of directors with the Police Activities League here in Beaverton, that we actually had an opening event where people would go in and we were able to get some free donuts and get some publicity for the nonprofit agency. So they actually do a lot of good, and some people just don't see that aspect of it. You know, obviously the quality of food is really high, although the nutritional value is, well, it doesn't have any, but I love them. I try to stay away from them because I would eat them until there's no tomorrow, but then, you know, then again, that's what donuts are for, right? One of the other subjects I put down here is different artists that every time we have a show like this one, I'm using film scores as the beginning and the ending of today's episode. I change up the music as much as I possibly can just so I can play with different sounds and different tracks. What I'm looking at trying to do in the future is I have a couple of friends that have produced albums, and I'm looking at trying to get a couple of their songs actually as beginning and closing. Co-workers actually at one point, Travis Stewart being one of them, and a good friend Steve Spore being the other one, which is a very talented Christian singer I've known for now about 10 years. So hopefully we can look forward to some of their music in the future. One of the other things I want to talk about is autocorrect. Actually, it's an instructional thing. It's an idea I came up with a long time ago. I will probably do a show on it eventually. What is autocorrect? Autocorrect is basically taking, using Word, Excel, Access, PowerPoint, whatever, and using the autocorrect, which is usually used for fixing typos, and use them for fixing things that you really want to type over and over again fast. My name, for instance, Dennis Gleason, I just type in DGL, lowercase, written all the way out, and it automatically uppercases it and spaces it perfectly for me. Try it, play around with it, and you tell me if it doesn't have the right value. Okay, well, it's not a call-in show, so you won't call me, but at least think about it. And if you see a show that we have later on that talks about that, give a call in or let anyone else know if there different autocorrect features are available. So, well, we have about a minute left of the show, which means we have about 45 seconds before they start running credits. Last plug for the TV station. Again, Washington County Cable Access through the Tualatin Valley Community Television Station has provided me this opportunity to both produce this show, but also direct numerous other shows, and can help you too. Go online again to www.tvctv.org and find out how you can be a volunteer producer, or give them a call at 503-629-8534. Thank you again for watching.